What you doing, buddy?
Say, living my best life. Can't go back and forth with you, mama. Living my best life. Say it, Austin. Can't go back and forth with you, mama. I'm living my best life. Say it, Austin. Like, you're not playing with me. Don't play with me.
Yeah, half an hour. In a half an hour, do you want to get the paint stuff out? Do you want to paint in a little bit? Okay, I'll let you know when it's time, okay?
Did he say yes or did he say no?
No, you said yes.
So he wants to paint, but he doesn't want to talk to me, right? Now if I flip this desk, okay? If I flip this desk, Austin,
You want to stay where?
out of the camera, it's okay because Penny my friend anyway. Good morning, good morning. We're bothering Mashka and my little nephew.
Yep, we're planning on staying. Yep.
What he say? Fighting words? He doesn't want to be my friends. He want to sit here for dinosaur crunch when he wants to feel like it. But this is why I have attachment issues. Okay, Austin and Peyton. That's why I have attachment. No, don't talk me off a cliff. Marina, what are you laughing for? No.
He tells me he doesn't
No.
5 times a day. Anytime he's mad at me.
Y'all, y'all, good morning. I'm on the phone with Mashka, so if you hear her in the background, tell her to. Austin trying to run me for my money. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. When you fall down, you got to bring yourself back up. And when you bring yourself back up, that starts with your face. So, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I did the gym today. How is everybody? Hey. Y'all say, everybody say good morning, Mashka. They say good morning, Mashka. You could log on to your Patreon account. What are you going to do? End? You about to end this phone call? You are?
Yeah, see you in a second.
Okay.
What?
Karma. That was karma. Because who told you you can end this phone call? Got me fucked. Who told you you can end this phone call?
I'm right here then.
Delete. End this phone call. I ended the phone call. Moshka's playing. Says she. You heard that? Yeah. So, we miss you on TikTok. No, you don't. I missed you, okay? You are literally the reason why I get up every day and say kumbaya, okay? Let's be very clear. Every single one of you are the reason why I get out of bed every single day. So, thank you. Okay? How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. You made it through the week. There is a lot of baloney going on in the world today. Can you put a one in the comments if we're all on the same page? So I want to apologize. I mean, this is going to be the last time I'm going to apologize, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to act from now on. By acting, we're going to do. So I went to the gym this morning. I took a shower. I had a good day. I ate a banana. I drank some water, and then I sat down and gave you 40 links to the news. So what I want everybody to be mimicking and be on the same page, because currently right now we're going to do something that's been done by Andy Frischella, but it's going to be coordinated to prep. It's called the 45, what? 75 hard, but it's going to be a 45-day challenge. And the reason why I'm making sure that everybody knows this, hold on, Grand Horizon fam. I'm just trying to make sure I have your news right in front of me because we're going to do this here real quick. And then I'm going to log on to Moshka's page. I've been under since 4 freaking o'clock. Michelle, what? Hi, fam. Okay, so let's talk about it just a little bit because we need to do a little bit of mobilization. Okay, there's no fear, there's no situation. In fact, I won't even sit here and say anymore, and we're trying not to negate it in, but we'll keep it in memory that we're preparing for anything. Okay, let's just say that. But I will sit here and say right now, I just got intel. Just know we landlocked. I'll explain a little bit what that means, but just know we landlocked. We have U.S. troops deployed. We have a lot on soil. And we have a plethora of units currently. on soil. That's just something to pay attention to currently right now when certain military operations take place worldwide. You sit here and say certain, just sitting here and say so. Code for code. Shout out to the military. So with that being said, Happy Veterans Day. Yes. Can everybody put that in the comments? Happy Veterans Day. Shout out to my brothers and sisters. Ew. Ew. Happy Veterans Day. I'm dying to ask about Diesel. I should have messaged you in Patreon. Hey, Car. I mean, you don't have to message me. Go ahead and ask. We all here for you. Happy Veterans Day. Yes, fam. Veterans are the people that served our country. Angela said, and I quote, Happy Veterans Day to all those who have served and had loved ones who served and missed out on opportunities. Love, Angela. What? Oh, I understand. Oh, love, Angela. Thank you for saying that. Thank you so much for saying that. I got it, Dad. All right. Oh, happy birthday to your daughter, Miss Gwen. Yes, ma'am. Are we about to run out of diesel? No. It's currently being prioritized. So, Cara, put it like this. The airplanes and fighter jets, the military tanks, the weaponry, the equipment, they all are using some type of fuel. Hell, the bigger the tank, yo. Trucks, all of the above. So they need to prioritize it in an area where they can optimize it. So we're not necessarily running out. It might be that we might be storing it just a little bit more. Hi, Willie. Does that make sense? Because we're in the middle right now of doing deals with Saudi Arabia. Hi, friends. Hi, fam. Love, thank you. Does that make sense? Somebody said cryptocurrency is a whirlwind, is a mess. I'm waiting for it to drop to 10K. I'm telling you right now. I'm not kidding. Stealth Angel has a Veteran Day sale. Oh, love. Ooh, thank you, Jade. Did everybody hear that? Please put a one on the comments. Gotta love it when the family comes in here and give you details. They said Stealth Angel has a Veteran Day sale. Hi, Yaya. Sorry, so random. Cara, ain't nothing random about news currently regulating around the United States of America. We are on the same page. Took a plunge last night, sure did. Then went back up, then went back down. It was in relation to FTX. FTX was supposed to be bought by Binance, and then Binance backed out of the deals because of not only the lawsuits, but the actuality of the bankruptcy situation that FTX is looking at and arrest. If you have been in the crypto Discord and seen any of the resources that we have previously uploaded, similarly to Bitcoin, Bitboy crypto banter, Bangless. I've uploaded videos from Sheldon and a couple of other entities just to get different perspectives, trying to understand the basics, layman's terms, and how it relates to not only politics, economics, but our day-to-day lives. So it tanked a bit because Binance backed out. Yeah, I would never buy a company that's currently looking at bankruptcy until they're done, baby. And that's what they did. That's what they did. Currently, right now, FTX has a lot of situations, various different situations looking at him. So we will see if they will put that guy in jail or not, similar to how Bitboy Crypto has been insinuating. But in relation to that, similar to Voyager was another one that went bankrupt not too long ago. They were merging and then they had to hold assets. They currently have been delivered all the money to other people. They're worried currently right now that FTX may have been meddling in the funds of the people that had actually put into their network. And played a dicey game, kind of like what took place between 2006 and 2008 with Bank of America and a bunch of other banks that were handing out loans, knowing they were playing a dicey game with the American people's money, knowing that people could not, or there might have been a market crash impeding and infringing on the back door. Remember, Wall Street had been predicting it since 2004. So, we've got to pay attention. There's some rhetoric that was coming out here. Ooh la la. So hopefully that makes very, 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 very much sense. Go ahead and put a confirm in the comments if you're ready for some cause news, though. We're gonna do it here, and then I'm gonna hack Moshka's page, and we're gonna do it there and turn some heads. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and put a confirm in the comments. I'll get you started. I will sit here and say welcome if you're currently tuning in for the first time on my page and you're not currently a part of Patreon. Patreon fam, this live is public. Right now, we're trying a different method. We won't be doing all Patreon lives public, as this will go private as soon as this is over. You will not be able to access this on my YouTube page. However, people wanted some insight of how we currently converse amongst each other outside of TikTok. So I wanted to give a free value of it if everybody's on the same page, and we're good to go. I just wanted to let everybody know, because no, I don't think everybody can see the comments. So we're gonna get into it, okay? We're gonna get into it. All right. Bon dia, bună dimineața, ni hao ma, guten Morgen, Xinjiao, привет, and all of them above. Brittany Griner, we're going to start with Russia. Currently, right now, Russia, Brittany Griner was transferred to a penal colony. Baby, in layman's terms, not only was she transferred basically to a workshop. So Russia has this thing where they have, similar to the Gulag, during the time period of 1937 to 1938, which was under the word of the Great Purge or the Great Terror that took place in the Soviet Union, previously known as the Soviet Union, all of the USSR considered on it. And the reason why I'm bringing it to your attention is because, again, I emphasize, the Holocaust was a copycat of what Russia did to their own people. And most people don't take into consideration the transfer of power between 1919 to 1924 to Stalin, all of the above from the Bolsheviks. And we keep talking about it because Russia currently right now is under Putinism or Stalinism, which is similar to the thinking. So with that being said, I'm letting you know she was transferred to the areas similar to the Gulag. We unbeknownst to the United States. Now, I want to put out there, it couldn't be unbeknownst if you reported on it. So I just need everybody to pay attention really quickly. Russia might be getting ready for something because they put a major hold on your car, but the gas in the store. Huh? What? Oh, okay. I was trying to figure that out. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I was paying attention and being nosy. So I'm just letting you know. NPR. I'm sorry. Excuse me. New York Times actually reported on that. BBC and the Guardian. Iranian-born brothers charged in Sweden with spying for Russia. It makes you want to kind of verify all the people that we kind of let in on as refugee situations. Okay, I'm just saying because the United States of America, when we go into a time of war, we also extract people out of the countries that are currently there. So I want you to know that. I also want you to know. Side note: Italy, buongiorno. Italy currently right now is creating a law, which I think somewhat is problematic, but it's also pretty smart. Italy is banning a law where asylum seekers that are currently military age males cannot enter. There was a ship of 230 asylum seekers that were supposed to dock, and Italy turned them away. Morning, fam. So when Italy decided to turn them away, France took them in. Put a one in the comments if you saw that article. That was by DW, France 24. Bang, bang, boom, boom, yang, yang. Go ahead. Yo, ma'am, we got to read. You need some help dissecting that. I'm here for you. Okay. 안녕하세요. North Korea fired one ballistic missile on Wednesday in the direction of South Korea. So I just want everybody to know currently right now that the Pentagon and the United States military are putting out warnings and just kind of like some headaches saying that they might be practicing again. I will reiterate what was an atomic situation that we had seen during Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Konnichiwa. If you understand currently what I'm talking about, that was a situation where the United States was told not to open the box in the 40s by every country that was currently at a situation of war. And we decided to open the box anyway. Currently, right now in Japan, they are still dealing with the ramifications and consequences of that situation. Put a one in the comments if you knew that. So, with this being a situation of North Korea has deployed over 50 intercontinental ballistic missiles since January 2nd of 2022. Oh, we are still in 2022, so we need to be very much obliged. For anybody who does not know, in the 50s, the United States, North Korea, China, and Russia started boom banging at each other's back doors, specifically at the 38th parallel in South Korea and North Korea's in the border. Where people started boom banging in June, the United States deployed a unit, a big one, in November of 1950. We lost, bad, yeah, to the point where in 1952, Dwight Eisenhower made a trip, came back, and said, "We're going to take all our troops home." I want you to know also there were situations where people were unalived, and by unalived they just passed on, they died unfortunately, and other countries could not use the funds or provide the funds that would be able to maintain a war without the support of the people that were sleeping. So the reason why I'm letting you know that is because the United States lost that war. We also lost our war against Vietnam and everything in between. So you would sit here and ask yourself, why is North Korea practicing so many intercontinental ballistic missiles if they know that their troops are capable of taking us down? The same reason the United States probably hit Hiroshima. We didn't want a full-on invasion. And currently, right now, the United States of America is having a Security Council meeting with the UN discussing situations of possibly shutting North Korea down. Please put a 1 in the comments if you are aware. To the point where in less than a month ago, North Korea declared itself a nuclear state. Go ahead and just put a good morning, loves. Good morning, fam. Good morning. Love, 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 love. And yes, I did drink my water today. Thank you. Okay, I see 2. Hi, Shay. Hey, Tina. I see 2 1, so I'm going to keep it going, okay? U.S. and North Korea. Biden to discuss cyber attack threat from North Korea. So we've been dealing with cyber attacks since the beginning of 2020, since our infrastructure has actually been down. I want you to know when the elections came out, or we had that situation of Russia hacking the elections, blah, 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 blah. I'm not denying that Russia didn't meddle in our elections. I just wish they showed the same energy when we had a situation in 2000 between Al Gore and Bush. I wish you showed the same energy about our voter rights currently. That should have been showed at that point in time. Just saying, Joe Biden was a senator. It is your 14th and 15th Amendment I shall put out there. So with that being said, cyber attacks have been taking place at a monstrosity level since 2020. In 2021, Texas experienced over 112 cyber attacks, similar to Georgia. Florida had 2 water facilities contaminated. They also had 2 hospitals shut down in the last 6 months due to the fact that those cyber attacks had hit their facilities, so they could not use their systems. I'm not sure if you're aware, but everything is technology iCloud based nowadays. So most people forget how to use charts. I want everybody to not negate that those situations have been taking place not only in Connecticut, California, Arizona, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Idaho, Iowa, Kentucky, Lexington. There's a whole ransom situation. Everybody got hit. So, and we've been paying attention to them. You've got over 700 posts on Patreon to make sure that you can go back and look at those. Just type it into the search bar and you'll pull up all the articles that came up on it. But the United States of America has been dealing with cyber attacks for a consecutive amount of 2 years. Please put a 1 in the comments if we are clear. Love y'all. You're fine. You fine. I got you. And for anybody and everybody who's new, who's not on Patreon, just know we just reading the news. Just reading the news. I got you, fam. I got you, fam. Love. It's so nice to see everybody. Hi, Tesla. It's so nice. Thank you for allowing me to be Moby. All right, so we're gonna keep it moving, okay? South Korea identified to be smuggling. A South Korean was identified to be smuggling goods into a North Korea facility for business endeavors. So know that that was situated. We might have an op. And North Korea warns against U.S. cyber attack drills. So, baby, I didn't know that we can conduct cyber attack drills, and I didn't know that we were actually taking it out on countries. So I would actually read that article because it's kind of a simulation of war games. And that's kind of like the what we were doing with Vostok 2022 in Russia. Listeria outbreak in Highland, listeria outbreak in several states, and cheese and deli meat. So put a yes or no in the comments if you remember that there was a listeria outbreak 4 months ago in the state of Florida due to meat and cheese. Are you still going live on TikTok? Yes, fam, but on Moshka's page. I haven't got my new page up to 1,000 yet, so I gotta wait my turn. I gotta wait my turn. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna be nice. It was me. I did it. I did it. I did it. So yes, no, maybe so. All right, no worries. Definitely, if you would like to read the article, just type in Florida Listeria and it'll come up on the Patreon live. But let me just give you a little bit of a synopsis. Listeria has been perpetuating itself through this country for the last 6 months. Put a confirm in the comments if you and I are on the same page. Outside of Listeria, that was hepatitis, adenovirus, and a couple of other entities that they had connected to strawberries, deli meat, cheese, to the point where you and I had to watch the FDA, the CDC, all of the recall list on a daily basis, but from deodorants to dry shampoos to different Unilever. Like, hey, it was the reason you and I were just getting these weird articles that weren't making any sense about the items that were sitting in our house. Remember, strawberries was connected to hepatitis. It wasn't just any strawberries. They said organic strawberries under Kroger. Baby, that's Harris Teeter. There's anybody that takes the largest amount that was connected to Walmart. There have been a multitude of different viruses identified in our foods. And if you have not realized, don't hate Florida, baby. I got you. Florida, hey, y'all, every state is lovely. Every state is lovely. Every state is lovely. Every state is lovely. But the reason why I'm bringing this to you is because remember how we said that we were all going to try to start growing gardens, and I'm a culprit, right? Like my garden it's not dead, but it does need some TLC, right? We weren't growing gardens because we randomly wanted to prep. It was because the food on the shelves were identifying with viruses and they actually were displaying it on television. Nobody was hiding it. Strawberries connected to adenovirus and hepatitis. Listeria was connected to chocolate. At one point, the salmonella was connected to an Israeli chocolate that had been perpetuating all over Jerusalem. We've had to keep tabs on this on a daily basis. Please put a yes or no in the comments if you want me to start putting the FD this I think it is, yeah, the food drug, yeah, the FDA's recall list up again. I can start doing that again so we can all keep it up there. But I just wanted everybody to know that was a situation. Somebody said, "Girl, where?" Georgia, Alabama, Idaho. It was so bad that we had 109 cases and they removed the livers of 2 children. Does everybody remember that? Yeah, man. Anything for y'all. Anything for y'all. Okay, you got it. I'll do it. Moving on. Love you. All right, South Korea. Police officer being investigated for the Halloween stampede in South Korea was found unalived. Just remember there were 2 Americans in that stampede. One was connected to a what? Politician? I just want you to know the person that they were investigating got. China and Apple. Apple limits airdrop on iPhones in China after file sharing features was used by protesters. So there's a lot of things that are going on in China, and I'm actually about to give a synopsis. Xi Jinping, 你好吗? Xi Jinping, 我的媳妇你是不好了. If he ever gets this message, I'm gonna have to fight for the day of my life. Like fight for the day of my life. Okay, fight. We're fighting. So hopefully he never gets that. But Xi Jinping has been elected for his 3rd term, similar to Vladimir Putin. Elected. You do what you will with that information. China is under, it's alluding that China might be even adopting a Karl Marx or going back into Marxism. Marxism is a way of life that you own nothing, you have nothing, and you won't ever have to need nothing. It all comes from the government. It's a lot deeper than that. But in a Chinese society today that currently has communism, a unitary secular division, China is made up of different government systems, similar to Russia being made up of a aristocrat by class, but also it's made up of an oligarch because you can do it also by richness. And just class, I think, just has to do with, excuse me, That's what I meant. Yeah, same thing. Um, oh, hello, no, sorry. I thought it was just Florida. No, 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 no. There were multiple states that identified those viruses. So like Aristotle, aristocrat. Oligarchs ruled by the rich. An aristocrat can be the type of government or the form of government, how they decide to rule, similar to democracy. So we just need to pay attention to Marxism because they're alluding to fascism. It's potentially a problem that we're having here in the United States of America. Under Executive 10997 and 10998, will you own anything and have anything under your possession? Genuine question. Under Executive Order 10997 and 10998, that was made in the 40s, solidified and written off in the 60s, reiterated in 2011, and now it's brought back to the table in 2022? Or is everything given and delivered and handed out by the government? You don't own your own property. You won't own your own car. You won't own your own money. They'll have access to it. Hell, it might even be in a centralized digital bank currency or a centralized bank digital currency where they can monitor how much money you're making. And if you don't pay your taxes, they can easily force it by causing an inflation directly. Confirm? Does that make sense? I just want you to know there's already been multiple countries that they've tried to roll out CBDC and it did not work at all. So the US blocked 1,000 shipments of solar energy from China over slave labor, or maybe the control of the use of China's chips. Just put that out there as a theory. Didn't give you anything, just let it as a question. China Haichu district is still in a lockdown, but why when China is easing COVID regulations for everyone else? Please pay attention to the current areas. Even Wuhan currently right now is getting out of a lockdown before this area does, and this area is in Guangzhou, so just pay attention to that. Japan justice minister dismissed after gaffes about the death penalty. Let's just remember that Iran is putting inmates to death. And inmates, and by inmates, I mean protesters. Just saying. Japan to invest 500 million for chip development. Japan over half of its currently dealing with a work shortage. So I think it's important that we remember that Japan opened up their borders for tourism 3 months ago, and they haven't seen or been able to. They're going to go in debt, like a huge amount of debt. Like the amount of debt that Japan is going to go in is going to be ridiculous, and the United States of America is going to have to deal with it 10 on fold because we demilitarized Japan since the 40s, but we also have had a hard, large hand in making sure that their government system relays the national interests of the United States of America. So we need to pay attention to that as well. India and the Indo-Pacific Pact with the United States. So the Indo-Pacific Pact is the Quad. Quad has to do with Australia, India, the United States, New Zealand, Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea, a couple other entities over there that are supposed to be making up their own version of a NATO. So that's important to pay attention to because that's where he's going for the ASEAN summits, just to see if we can create more people that will join the Indo-Pacific Pact. But he's having a problematic situation because China tried to do that a couple months ago with the Samoan Islands. Oh, yo, boy. And then he also tried to do that with the Solomon Islands. So that was also a situation and they won. So going to that. What's my friend was there and left the day before it happened. I was scared she was still there and checked on her. Love. All right. Nigeria. 2 Nigerian TikTokers they were 23 and 26 years old. 2 Nigerian TikTokers who made a comedy skit of their Nigerian leader were sentenced to public 20 lashes each. Come here. You remember that infamous question where everybody will sit there and say, Gwen said that's horrible. It is, isn't it? But what's the $1 million question currently right now? For Patreon fam, and to anybody else who might need, who's regurgitating this information and watching this live, I'm gonna just put something out here, okay? In 1492, the Moors were defeated by Spain, Portugal, and Britain. The Moors had been defeated, but also areas that were not Moors, but they called them Moors, which were African nations as well as Middle Eastern nations, were also defeated. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because those white settlers in Portugal and Spain, if you do any research of how that situation of the slave trade embarked, you would notice that there was a situation where everybody kind of came together and said, we're just gonna take it out on Africa. We're gonna take it out on Africa. But nobody asked the question, what could a nation, what could an entire continent have done for you to insinuate at any point in time that you could even possibly need to remotely, with so much anger and hate, so much let's talk about so much anger and hate, what could you possibly, who taught you these things? Somebody said, why is the people allowing it? So here's the part that nobody wants to talk about. Yes, somebody had to sign the paper to commence the slave trade. No, it wasn't all war and violence because they were fighters from the beginning of tribes. Think about it. How did they get on one continent? They were ousted. How did the Moors get into power from 711 to 1492? Who is Caesar? What happened in the Mesopotamian area? There's a lot of history currently right now that's coming up so deep. You would literally have to understand the switch of power through race. And it started with people that look like me. Kings and queens. But why would the white population in the same area turn and commence a full slave trade if they weren't enslaved? Do you guys know currently right now what's going on in East Africa to the albinos? Albinism is where you have your melanin. You just have a cool ass version of melanin that makes it look all white. Like, it's just the coolest thing in the world. It's so cool. Ooh, it's so cool that African nations from Zimbabwe, okay? It's so cool that African nations all the way up think it's so spiritual to take them and hack their body parts. You ever read of that? Put a yes or no in the comments if you know currently what I'm talking about. Genuinely. Ms. Monica said, yes. Lynn said, I sure do. Cool. I challenge everybody on Patreon, fam. Go ahead and type in. It should come up on your Patreon search bar. I'm not sure what news it was, but if you type in East Africa or if you type in albinos, you'll find an article about 4 months ago showing how it's consecutively a problem today. They're still using it for rituals. They're being hunted. Hey, yo, listen. I got a theory. I wasn't born then, so let me tell you the theory, okay? Because I wasn't born then. This is not my time. It wasn't my time. I was born really recent. But something tells me, due to Darwinism, kind of like that elephant that went back a couple months back. You know that elephant that went back after they attacked that old lady? And when they found it in the hospital, he went back to finish it. Well, she wasn't in the hospital because he went back to finish the job. He wouldn't let anybody through. The elephant, right? We don't tell you how smart elephants are. You'd actually have to figure it out. They're smart as hell. The elephant, when her funeral, listen to me, when her funeral came around, did the elephant come back? We need to talk, okay? Like, yeah, we're animals. We speak a different language. You and I speak English. Elephants, okay? Howling monkeys, like what? Everybody speaks their own language. I ain't got time. It's just like speaking Buna de Menyata, Chepula me fach. Like they speak their own language. Sorry, yes, I did. I swore. But I don't care. That's my favorite sentence in the whole wide world. So when you look at it just from that analogy and stop taking it to the id or the ego or whatever psychology you want to call it, to giving us complexity of the mind of consciousness. If you just take it straight to Darwinism and just say that we domesticated everything else and made sure that they weren't free to elevate and get to the level that we are today, then just think and ask yourself, okay? Please. If an elephant can remember something that happened to them and the person who did it enough to stampede her, make sure that help cannot get to her, and then go back and stomp on her grave. We sound like some personal shit. I ain't even gonna cap, but that's exactly what happened. Could something have happened in society between the white and the black people to the point where you found a higher population of white settlers during the time period of 1537 and before in the area of Europa, right? Yes, there's white settlers in Africa, but they're not the original white settlers, correct? We're talking about something very different. And I'm sorry, I forgot what it's called, but even two-tone skin with white hair is abomination to them as well. Yeah, I don't know what that's called either. And I still have your news, y'all. I'm just trying to break this down. And for anybody who's here and you're like, how did we get here? We're talking about two Nigerian TikTokers today that were flogged publicly. They were sentenced 20 lashes and they were flogged. And for anybody who's not picking up what I'm putting down, why the hell are they using slavery, actual abuse in Nigeria still to this day against other Nigerians? Please put a 1 in the comments if you understand 110% what I am currently putting down. Public information. For anybody and everybody was waiting for the situation, okay, to see how this all comes together, the commonality between how this all commenced. Was there at any point in time people that said yes to slavery? Yes. Were the first slaves in the world, were they slaves of white people? No, they weren't. No. The first recorded slave of all time is in an area today that is known as Kabul, Afghanistan. It was not that name at that time. But if you even remotely take into consideration the area of where it is located, you would know they do not replicate currently right now what was put in history. They're all brown. Did we enslave our own people? Baby, I told you I came from Cape Town less than 5 years ago, where they have a sign in the Lenga Township, 13 rands for a 13-year-old girl. Yes, sweetie. Uh-huh. It was us. We didn't. Yeah. Please put a 1 in the comments if you understand currently what I'm pitching at you. If you have currently been to the continent of Africa and talked to African people, they'll tell you over and over again, we won our country back every time. Go to the Congo. I want you to ask them, did they decolonize or did they start raising hell? to the point where Leopold had to leave. Where's the balance so bad after what happened to the Tuwa, the 1% of the Rwandans that nobody counted for in 1994 during the massacre of the Hutus and the Tutsis? Hey, yo, there are issues that were there before they got there. We were already building ships. I'm telling you about the simulation because hopefully we can have an open conversation today that might not need to be completely one side's accountability. Please put confirm in the comments if that's clear. One of the most wealthiest nations on the continent of Africa is flogging their own people. I don't know about you, but that's pretty savage to me. I can only see white settlers coming in, adopting an original principle, and making it worse. Child soldiers, they still exist. The initiation, what? There's literally certain countries in Africa right now that still practice female circumcision today. Do you know what that is? Female circumcision. Yeah, it's advanced, just as we are, but it is just as savage as the United States of America. We don't have to differentiate the badness. We can all admit it's terrible. But I'm going to start alluding to the fact that maybe we shouldn't be looking at one side. I'm not going to blame it on white people no more. I'm not going to blame it on black people. In fact, I'm going to blame it on the fallacy of history that's been put out as a facade to tell a different story that's not been collaborated until now. And until we get all the pieces together that are currently being protected in the Vatican City, where we don't have to be fighting each other because we don't have all the story. So, I want you to know that, baby. I want you to know that. I'm just saying, it's a little bit of similar history. I'll definitely put that article back up about them albinos, though. I got you on that. So we're going down it. Kenya and South Africa boost their ties and open free visa travel. Great. Not really. That might spread some viruses. I need y'all to contain what y'all got going on in the north first before you start going down to South Africa, where there's a bunch of people that are going to Cape Town and traveling because the borders are open. Just saying. Climate change and malaria. Currently, right now, malaria is on the speed run throughout all of Africa. There's a new, an uneradicable. I don't even know if that's a word. You can't eradicate it. Okay, you can't eradicate it. You can't do it. It's eradicated. No, it's not. Won't do it. Okay, it's a new version. But now they're talking about one that's got a super mosquito that's currently building kind of what is it called? Natural immunity to the changes that are currently going on. Animals are supposed to adapt to this environment nonstop, the originality of the cosmopolitan. So, with that being said, you must take into consideration with mosquitoes being here, one of the things that they're going to have to do is adapt, and they've been here for so long. But the other thing that you can take into consideration is that we deployed 1.4 million genetically modified mosquitoes from Florida in 2021, and I just wonder how fast they can fly. Britain has frozen 18 billion pounds worth of Russian assets, kind of like how the United States did to Afghanistan after the war. Oh, we still currently have those assets in our protection. I'm just letting you know that right now. Nigeria is going through a similar Arab Springs, but the ruler is teaming with the West. So I need you to know 110% right now that Nigeria is currently going through, it could potentially look at a coup d'etat in a full spectrum, but know that Nigeria did have militants going through different villages and things like that. But the youth is rising up. And that's what I'm reflecting and referring to when I say the Arab Springs. The Arab Springs was a time period well, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then it started going the Arab Springs in Asia, in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Tiananmen Square. It's usually in a time period of the youth or the middle class, and just a time period of a lot of people in the community in that country coming up and uprising, telling them that they want change, regardless of the change, looking at a democracy or the Western ways that they were trying to assimilate. Well, it failed, because we are having the ramifications and consequences of that today. If anybody and everybody was wondering why it was so easy for the United States to get into Afghanistan, it's because we were already in there. It's not necessary. It doesn't necessarily always have to be a cohort operation. It can be we were trying to apply national interest with certain people beforehand, and it failed in the 70s. We didn't maintain or try to rebuild that relationship, and it turned in the 90s. The situation took off in 93, where 5 to 6 people were unalive. If you fast forward to 2001, we know where we're at. 2022, we are fighting with those same countries today. Confirm? There were 252 bombers that flew over the Middle East. Put a 1 in the comments if you saw it. Man, I love this live. This is so great. I freaking love you guys. Not China, not Russia, not Europe, not Ukraine, Slava Ukraine. No, the Middle East. I'm not going to war with the Middle East, so not me. All right, fam, we're gonna move it on. United Kingdom nurses go on strike for the first time in history. Hey, yo! So, for anybody and everybody who's like, ooh, this might be a weird situation because I don't know what that means. Nurses go on strike all the time in the United States of America. No, they don't. They do sometimes. But with the United Kingdom itself, because of the way that their medical system works, the nurses are the pride and heartbeat. Can everybody put a 1 in the comments if that's clear? I'll tell you something. I had a kidney infection. I had to leave Bournemouth. It was terrible. I had to call an Uber and go all the way to St. Thomas Hospital, outside of the bridge of Waterloo. And when I sit here and I tell you the only people that I talked to were nurses, I think I saw a doctor for 10 minutes. The nurses admitted me. The nurses took care of me. The nurses checked on me. The nurses administered my medication. The nurses made sure that things were done. I think I only saw a doctor for about 5 to 10 minutes. It wasn't anything outside of that. The nurses of the United Kingdom are the pride and joy, the heartbeat of that system, because of it being a socialist health insurance system. You need more people to be able to administer rather than more doctors, because they're not going to make the money. The United Kingdom has been dealing with a shortage of nurses since 2013. Put a yes or no in the comments if you were aware. Literally, you can go online and you can type in United Kingdom work visa shortage list. And if you pull up that work visa shortage list, you're going to see that STEM is on there, but you're also going to see engineers, nurses, and other certain trades that the United Kingdom has been having a very difficult time finding, has been on that list for almost 10 years. Tesla, love you, girl. Ships carrying, we talked about those asylum ships. Yes. Ships carrying 230 asylum seeker docked in France after being refused in Italy. Italy is not accepting, military aged men. Please put a 1 in the comments if you understand what I'm currently saying. And I'm going to give you my 110% opinion. Right now, I wish that was our policy. But I wouldn't discriminate, poor men. I wouldn't discriminate against the men. We're not allowing anybody into this country. I'm letting you know that would be my policy now. Nobody is coming into the United States of America until all of our children are out of that hospital. Nobody is coming into the United States of America during a time of fruition and war because of the situation of people barking at the top. Currently, right now, our inflation is up through the roof, and the FCC and everybody else in the Federal Reserve that wants to come out and make decisions for us without negotiating with the United States citizens. No, we don't need any more people currently right now in this country today, not anytime soon. But the situation with military aged men, that is strategic. Very. Probably the smartest fucking thing you can fucking do right now. But don't let anybody in, baby, because them child soldiers be coming in hot. So I don't know what the fuck you talking about. France Armistice Day. Bonjour, je ne sais pas. Armistice Day of World War One. So armistice just means deadlock. We peace treaty, or we didn't win, we didn't lose. So we're just gonna celebrate it. There was another armistice that took place in South Korea and North Korea. Please pay attention to that. Blah, blah. And it's good to know how that works. France is leaving Toulon. France is leaving a country that it's been fighting in for 10 years. Please ask yourself why. France new mandate for all car park lots, to have solar panels. You can't afford it. France is currently watching 1,000 protesters over cost of living, so all over France. So currently people are going to the streets because cost of living is too high. That's also taking place in Hungary, Holland, Canada, the United States. Like there are protests going on. But we're also protesting for abortion rights laws, Black Lives Matter. There's a lot going on here. Yes, those protests are going on worldwide. I just need everybody to know that. Italy had a 5.5 magnitude earthquake yesterday, as well as banning within their. Oh, that was what I was saying about the asylum seekers. That's on The Guardian. Plane from Greece to Newark, New Jersey, turned around for security breach. Greece is currently reporting that there was no security breach found. What? To my country? Okay, baby. Good luck. Just saying. Massive fire hay fuego in Greece, northern part that has been burning for 20 days. So just remember that too, because Turkmenistan has been having a fire that's been burning since like for 30 years. Heard, Joseph. Hungary blocked 18 million euros in Ukraine aid. Hungary is also blocking Sweden and Finland from joining NATO. Germany is barking because it is a problematic situation if Hungary, because Hungary is a part of NATO, does not vote them in. Please put a 1 in the comments if that is clear. That Hungary is an op. NFL in Munich. I thought that was cool. Not really, but whatever. Germany dramatically increased in Turkish asylum seekers in Germany. So the only reason why I want people to pay attention to that is because of the prior discrimination in Germany. I also am questioning why Turkish people are heading to Germany. Turkey and Germany are not on currently the same page. Turkey ain't even on the same page with NATO. So it's just something to pay attention to. There's a KFC in Germany held accountable for sending out a message of commemorating the night of the broken glass. I don't know how to say it in German, so I just found the translation and put the article up that explains it, which was the night that people would say the Holocaust began. So KFC in Germany sent out a notification saying, hey, let's commemorate this day and make sure that you come in and get your chicken. So yeah, that's a problematic situation, but you should probably pay attention that that's the third time that that's happened. One went out with ours. I think that was either New York Times or I'm not sure, with AOC. Yeah, I think it was New York Times. Where it had said that they need to AOC. Does everybody remember that? Yeah, it's not the first time that false media has went out from a company. It took place a couple months ago in Taiwan, where they actually sent out a false flag that they were being invaded. So please just pay attention and how consistent this is taking place. Is the United States going into the Middle East? Those are the reports on the 52 jets that flew over the Middle East. Republicans turned it against Trump. Check out what's going on in Virginia. The U.S. foreign troops in Syria. We're having an issue in Damascus. Please remember that we have been sending drones to Damascus since the beginning of February. We have been creating a proxy war between Iran and us in Syria. Just trying to be, ahead. The United States said 6 countries are safe from being deported, including Haiti, until 2024, which is the election time. Please go look up what those 6 countries are. Also, El Salvador. Like, hay un problema con este país, ya tú sabes que eso. But that's to each their own. Nicholas Rossi is being charged and was extradited from Scotland last year for grape. So pay attention to that case because I think they found him. He's a U.S. fugitive. California, 3 Olympic medals stolen from a California home. What? California is shut down an entire sheriff patrol daily unit due to staffing. So this is on San Francisco Gate in the Bay Area. So please go ahead and look it up. That's highly unsafe. Can you put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me? I'm sorry, fam. Somebody said that I'm breaking up. Love. Okay. Texas struck down Biden's student debt relief program from August in reason that the borrowers did not have a chance to make a public comment. So that's not false, but that's a big red flag. Texas is actually showing behavior of conceding, maybe even succeeding. Texas has a concession. So I want everybody to understand. Florida had a hurricane called Nicole. Nicole is currently headed in the direction tropical storm. It's come down to a tropical storm. New York City, please be obliged. It is sending some, random outskirts of storms your way. And we currently in North Carolina are getting some rain, but that's about it. Some rain and thunderstorms. It did do a number on Florida. So Florida has gotten hit twice by 2 storms. We're still watching the system out there. So please be obliged, Florida team. If you need anything, just reach out. We're all here. But yeah, it's getting pretty hectic on the beaches. Florida, there's more abortion restrictions coming along the way. So if you need to get your supplies, I'd probably do it now. Tropical rain threat. We went over that for New York City. The U.S. military 3 charged with sending technical drawings of the military equipment to China. 3 of our own charged with sending technical drawings of military equipment to China. U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff warning the United States military to change the beat. Russia and China. Meta lays off and foreshadows the market. Meta is currently laying off employees. Meta is Mark Zuckerberg. Did everybody see that? Meta is laying off employees. Apple currently is slowing down hiring. Kohl's is currently on a hiring freeze. Walmart is currently shutting down facilities and closing down stores. Target currently is on a hiring freeze. Apple is currently selling their iPhone 14 for a premium discounted price in certain countries that have the monetary funds to do so. 2023 is going to be very, 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 very unstable. So we just kind of have to get ready. Okay. FTX bankruptcy, the return to the people. FTX DPAC ETH put NFTs up for sale and Bitcoin dropped 70%. Okay. So everybody put a heart in the comments if you got your news for today on Patreon, so we don't need to upload a new Patreon version of it. Right? Go ahead and just put a heart in the comments. You're fine, Joseph. I actually don't think weak people always start wars, though. Like, war takes 2 parties to tango, and sometimes one party doesn't have a choice. And there are some situations where some wars that took place, like the Civil War, had to happen. I don't think anybody was weak enough to fight for them. I don't think anybody was weak. The United States was about to get half of its Donkey Kong left. I don't even think we had 23 states at that point in time. Literally, could you imagine? 11 states? We were about to go broke. Britain was about to come over here and whoop our butts. Like if we had to, if people really don't understand. If all of those states had succeeded, somebody would have came and take them to try to take them. That's why the United States kept expanding. We colonized this whole continent. We weren't even, I don't, promise you, I don't even think we were 30 states. Don't even think we were 30 state deep. Just said the British, yes, yes, fam. Uh huh. After the fall of the Brits during the American Revolution, when we came out here and still made our little deal, I think 110% in 1871, when we started realizing that our economic stability wasn't going to work without the Brits. It was a problematic situation. If they had seen that we weren't able to keep ourselves together after we had fought them to pieces, they'd be probably treating us how we treating Russia right now, to be honest. Russia lost 14 nations. Ukraine was one of them. Look how we treating this. Literally, look how we treating this country. It would have been the same thing. The United States of America would have lost 14 nations. At that point in time, we were working as colonies. We weren't even working as an entity that was doubling in between. Different monies, different exchange, different things. They were trying to unify us. That's all that means. So it's just something to pay attention to. But I think that's all your news for right now. So I'm gonna try to go live on Moshka's page. I just wanted to come up here because I haven't been showing my face. I wanted to say thank you. The next thing that I also want to say is we are going to try to come back on live tonight if you're fine with it. If you're totally fine with it. Oh, I love Lori. Because I'd like to get some things done. Oh, you're welcome, Shelly. I like to get some things done, and I want to make sure that everybody's kind of good to go for November. The second thing that's going on is we are currently in the process of creating Teachable. Can everybody put Teachable in the comments? I'm like extremely excited for this. Like yesterday when I was extremely depressed, this is what I like took my energy for. And depressed, I just get overstimulated and I have like a lot of thoughts going through my head. So I apologize. But with that being said, Teachable is currently an educational platform that allows us to create courses. So instead of just having a bunch of things thrown at you in a couple of links, you'll have organized courses and modules and areas for you to be able to decipher kind of how your speed is, what you need to learn, and how it, well, just kind of like, yeah, putting yourself to your own school. And so the reason why I'm so proud of it is because Patreon, y'all do not pay anything extra for it. Okay. You will not be paying anything extra for it. It will be connected to your Patreon account. I think we're going to switch around the tiers just to make sure that that caters to everybody who wants to challenge themselves. So again, I'll say it again. If you're just looking for resources, links, and Patreon lives and TikTok lives, please stay and go down to the $3 and the $4 tier. If you're on the $4 tier and you're looking for educational material and resources where you don't mind getting the links and that's all you need, please stay on the $4 tier. If in fact you need instructional videos, resources, secondary material, that's public information and all in between, we just organize it, and that's why you're not paying anything extra for it because we're not a school, we're just tutoring. Then that's when I would sit there and say you probably want to upgrade to either the $25 or the $35 tier next month. Not now. I'm going to activate it, and then we're going to do a soft launch on November 16th for you guys to test it out. So for 2 weeks, everybody put November 16th? You can put November. You can put November 16th. That's my goal to get it done by. Just a couple of courses for all of you guys to test it out, and I'll just send you the link. But it's gonna be open. Love, 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 love. Woo-hoo. Yeah, no worries. We got to do a test run, so I want to make sure that everybody can be able to use it. Because if you can't use it, what's the point of it? Is there still a $15 tier? So all tiers are currently right now, they're not going to be touched or affected. I'm just saying at the end of November, we will be changing the tiers. So I wanted to make sure that people were aware because it won't go any higher than 13 and it won't go any lower than 3. I mean, excuse me, any higher than 35 and it won't go any lower than 3. So it'll still be the same numbers, if that makes sense. All right. Where will you go live later? On on Patreon. Good. All right, fam. I'm going to see you a little bit later. I'm going to try to log on to Mashka's TikTok and do a quick live. Cool?